Hey guys, so we're with Copeman here. He just took 11th at the last Treasure Cup. At the end of the video, we'll post some of the matches too, since it was on stream. But we're gonna go over the deck profile, go over the different matchups, his dreaded matchup and so on and so forth. But let's get started and see what we're going to see here. We'll start off with the Bonnie is what he played. Let's start off and tell me what Bonnie Lear does for those who haven't played Bonnie.
So Bonnie, pretty much, whenever your opponent attacks, you can pretty much rest one Dawn to rest one of their characters or leaders. Pretty much, it's kind of like a control deck because you want to slow the game down to go into your bigger bodies later, or Kid, pretty much build a fortress. So, yeah, that's what Bonnie does.
All right, so let's see what you cooking up here.
So, obviously you got the 4 Bonnie searchers. This is just, it searches your 2Ks and your Kid. One thing about Bonnie though is that you can't really search a lot of your important cards, but this is still really important. Next up, we just got generic 2Ks, the Scratchman and Poos, so pretty much on play rest of 2 or less.
Yeah, do you normally, you said it's just generic 2K, so do you ever really use the on play on it, or does it come in clutch at all?
Resting a 2 can come in like in the mirror against Bonnie. Like if they have the 2-cost killer blocker or 2-cost, actually it doesn't work on Rosinante. You should definitely shouldn't do that. But
I think we saw that in play in the event itself.
So, but yeah, it can come in here or there, but most of the time you're using it just as a 2K pretty much.
Okay.
So next up, I just have 2 more of the Scratchman and Poos. This one's just the when attacking. If you attach 1 Dawn, it can rest a Dawn.
Okay.
So this one, most of the time it's just being used as a 2K. It's somewhat good in Tanami because you can rest Dawn when you swing into them, just so they hit you with less events. But in most cases, it's just a generic searchable 2K as well.
Hell yeah.
Next up, we got 4 2K or 2-cost Rosies. This card's super important because one, like the hardest part about Bonnie is trying to build a board. Most of the time, a lot of your bodies will just die instantly. So there's different lines where you can like play Hody and Rosie as well next to it, so you can protect it, or you can play it with 8-cost Kid as well, so you can make sure it doesn't die, or at least they have to like go through hurdles to get rid of it first.
Okay, staple in green, probably one of the strongest blockers for sure.
Yeah. Next up, we got Bart's. This is one card that a lot of people don't seem to be running. They seem to be running the killer instead, which I'm not. The reason why I prefer this is that Bonnie's biggest issue, in my opinion, is like consistency, where you can't really search a lot of your pieces. So if you like search with Bonnie, if you rest with Hody, or use 8-cost Rosie, which will come later, you could like draw 1, trash 1 off of this, and then you probably draw into a 9 checks or something like that, hopefully, right?
Okay.
So, and then also this card can be played off Kid, and then as well, it plays around Mulligan. So the -5 kill a 2-cost or
2K, yep.
Yeah, so plays around that, so you can still block with it to protect your Kid, whereas the other 2, like the 2-cost Rosie and the 2-cost killer, will just die.
Yeah, it just disappears, yeah.
Next up, we got the 3-cost Tashigi. So it's new this set in OP10. This card's like super important in a lot of matchups, like your Blackbeard matchup and Black matchup, anything like this. If you pair this card with something else, you can pretty much guarantee it will live unless they double KO it, which does happen sometimes as well. But if this ever sticks on the field, you'll be able to build a board because they're constantly going to be working from behind, and it's also a 2K, so.
Fair enough.
Next up, we got a 1 of Izo. Honestly, I probably would have replaced the Izo with another Scratchman and 2K, but I just didn't really have it, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
And I do think there's niche uses for Izo.
It's kind of like a bait card, right? You're going to counter it. Oh, this man has Izzo. Yeah. Probably has another 1 or 2 in there for something, so.
So yeah.
Then okay. 4
of Cavendish. It's pretty standard. Freestands 2 Dawn on play when attacking. It's pretty much one of the best cards in the deck. If this sticks,
strong, yeah.
you're in a super good position.
Yeah, a lot of restanding Dawn in this deck for sure.
So we got 4 carrots. So carrots, another way you slow the game down with your leader. So you can like rest a 5-cost and then rest another thing on their turn when they swing. So it just slows the game down, lets you not burn too much life and too many cards. So Smoker's really good as well, or carrots, sorry. Then we got 3 Smokers here. So Smoker's a new card as well from OP10. So pretty much this card's super important in the Shanks matchup because being able to swing 7 with Banish, a lot of the time they'll want to use leader effects and a card not to lose a life and a card as well. But that also lets you swing with leader at that point as well. So this card's, you know, pretty important in that matchup.
Yeah, you really have to remove it quickly or they're going to lose a lot of value for sure.
There's other matchups like Usopp 2 where like they need to be under 5 cards in order to, or card 5 or less, to be able to draw off of their, a body leaving a field. So if you're swinging high into their life with Smoker, if it sticks, it puts them in a position where they're either like ditching so many cards or they're just losing a life and a card as well. So
okay.
We got 3 Hody. A lot of people run 4, but the reason why I'm on 3 Hody is because I find a lot of the matchups, it's kind of hard to play Hody when you want to. Like Red Zoro, Dofi, and all these other matchups, if they're like pushing your face, using a Hody is really hard.
Yeah, and also it's a brick, right? So no counter on either.
It's also a brick. I definitely want to see 1 a game, and I do think that with having 3, hopefully I see 1 a game. But it's still one of the best cards for a green, but that's why I chose to go with less.
Super strong for sure.
I got 3 8-cost Rosies, so this is like my own take, and a way I kind of navigated certain matchups. So big issue with Bonnie is that you can't stick cards really a lot of the time. Like Cavendish and Carrot both die to Beckman, and 8-cost Rosie pretty much allows you to play another 5-cost. Pretty much to just build a board, and the 5-cost will be safe from KO. They'll still be able to like Beckman it after you play this, but in a lot of situations, like they're probably not playing Beckman on 9 or 10. So
it seems like a lot of resources to try to remove him or take out the Cavendish for sure.
And especially like into Bidofi or Shanks, 8-cost Rosie, being able to have a body that sticks is super important. So you can start swinging life and start pressuring board, and then you go into like Kid and 9 Shanks after that.
Okay.
So next up, we got 3 Kids.
Blocker, Fortress.
Kid is pretty straightforward. Play Kid, play a blocker. If you could pair it with Tashigi as well, most of the time you're going to win the game. Kid is pretty much the answer into most things right now, but yeah, Mulgun kind of made this card maybe a bit more fragile. That's why I run the Barto, but Kid is just Kid.
Sure.
And then we got 4 Shanks. So because there's so much Shanks rep, like the red Shanks rep, you have to run 4. I don't think you can run any less, because if they drop 10 Shanks and you can't answer it, then you're gonna lose the game.
Yeah, that Oro's kind of tough.
And the reason why I do think that 8-cost Rosie was especially good was that if I dropped this before their 10-don turn, it's hard for them to remove the body without attacking into it with Shanks, but if they attack into it with Shanks, you can also just get rid of it as well.
Yeah, insta cap.
So, and there's a lot of other matchups like Usopp, if you're able to just kill the Kairos immediately. If they don't immediately red rock this, a lot of the time they're going to start losing the game. I also found that in most cases it's better than 10-cost Dofi, because 10-cost Dofi you don't have another Dawn to use leader effect, whereas Shanks you do.
Yeah.
And Dofi kind of just stalls the game, whereas Shanks kind of gets rid of a problem, right?
Yeah.
So I felt like Shanks is better in most cases, so that's why I chose to go with this.
Okay.
And then last off, I just got 3 0-cost events. Bonnie's just like notorious for bricking, so that's why I went with this.
Sure. Okay, so what's your toughest matchup in this deck profile? Like, let's say you went more with a cookie cutter build. A lot of times I don't see too much Rosinantes in the cookie cutter builds. You generally see more Hodis, sometimes you see the Dofi. How is this in the mirror match?
So with my list, obviously Blackbeard and Shanks are both losing matchups for Bonnie, and that's kind of the problem. So having 2 big losing matchups that have the most rep is not good, and Bonnie's consistency has also been just like pretty bad. So there's not much reasons to play this deck, but I love it, so I try to find a way around it. So I think 8-cost Rosie, it was kind of a tech into Blackbeard and Shanks, because a lot of the time into Blackbeard, they won't turn off leader effects because they want you to play Hody and take a life. But Hody doesn't necessarily rely on the on-play to have rush, right? So if you're playing Hody anyway on 7, which is, you know, the usual case, they won't turn off the leader effects. But if you are on the 8-don curve and you play this into Blackbeard, because they expected you to play this and they don't turn off on-plays, you pretty much just instantly win. Because you play like this and a Smoker, and like they just can't get rid of that either, right?
Okay.
The only way out is like, you know, Black Hole, Finger Pistol, but even that's like they're not developing anything.
Okay.
So you can kind of cheese some wins against Blackbeard and Shanks this way.
I think even if you turn off your on plays, Hody doesn't. You don't lose life, and he still gets the rush, right?
Yeah. So he still gets a rush, and you don't lose life. So that's why they choose to leave it up and keep a card. But
okay.
If they play that way, it's super losing for them if I have this. And I actually won a couple games like that actually. So it ended up working out. So the gamble paid off.
Awesome. So is there any free matchups in the current meta?
I mean, I think yellow is definitely free because if you just play for 8-cost Kid, they can't really get rid of it other than 8-cost Katakuri. But if you just make sure you have a Tashigi and a blocker, as long as you see one, it's pretty hard to lose, I think. So yellow is pretty easy, especially because, you know, freeze and 9 Shanks gets rid of anything.
Yeah,
as well.
The leader effect's still strong to just being able to rest one all the time and then freezing with the carrot, and there's so much tech into this. Is there any EBO2 support coming?
So there's a 7-cost Bonnie that's coming. I do think that a lot of people aren't necessarily too hyped for it, but I do think that it might feel pretty good on the consistency of it. You know, I've debated taking out Smoker for the 7-cost Bonnie and maybe the Rosinante, but I haven't really practiced too much EBO2 yet. So
okay, we'll see it in, next week actually. This week is the release of it.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely be doing a lot more play testing. Is there anything that you would change in this deck currently, if you had another chance to kind of fix it up? The ratios of the different cards, more 0-cost events. Would you do even less Hodies since you have a bit more bricks in here, right?
I mean, I took away from Hody and maybe away from Kid to be able to fit Rosie in here.
Yeah.
And I do have the 0-cost events for the bricks, but the issue with Bonnie is that you lack consistency. So
yeah, you're roll high or not, right?
The one game I lost in the second last rounds, I just didn't see a blocker to play next to Kid, which would have been, you know, ideal. I do think I would have won the game if I did see that. So I do think you could maybe put in 2 killers or something instead. So I'm not sure where exactly I would take it from, but maybe you could run 10 blockers just to up the consistency. But honestly, I'm not too sure. I was pretty happy with how things turned out.
No, you obviously did very great. All the boys were cheering you on there. You did very well. What's your guide opening hand? What would you want to see? What would you mulligan for?
So Bonnie Searcher is honestly probably one of the best cards in your deck because they have to usually swing into it unless they're playing black and clear it with Brook. Tashigi also is super important to a lot of matchups that focus on removal. And 9 Shanks, like especially going into Shanks, you definitely want to see this card and Smoker as well. So
as in your opening hand, so you would mulligan for them, or?
It depends what you're playing against and what you're searching for in those matchups. So like into Shanks, I would look for Smoker Shanks. Into like anything yellow, I'd look for like the Kid or the Searcher to be able to like make sure I get this, because as long as I get this, I'm probably fine.
Okay.
And then into matchups like Blue Dofi, I do think like Tashigi is super important, and things like Carrots just to be able to like slow the game down. So, yeah.
All right, that's pretty awesome. This was just after the first Treasure Cup of in May here. Prizing is coming, so this man did hit 11, bubbled out of 10, but he does have a full set prizing coming. So let me know when that comes in so we can take a closer look at all that. But thank you for sharing your deck profile there. GG's.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll hopefully see more of you, and we'll see what happens in EBO2. But thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit that like, so you can see that prizing coming in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye.
All right, sweet. Oh yeah, you want to do dice roll?
Yes.
What do you want to do? High roll, low roll?
Yeah. High roll.
High roll? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
9.
Take a 9.
10.
Damn. All right.
Well, can you guess?
You want to take second, right?
Yeah, first.
Okay, first. All right.
All right.
All right, let's see. What do we got?
I'll keep.
Yeah. I will also keep. All right, good luck, bro.
You too. Alright. Let's start off just one Dawn. Rest it. I'll play Searcher.
Okay.
Answer go.
All right, draw. Go to 2. And I'll pass.
I'll draw. Pay 1 to search.
Yep.
Take a Searcher.
Okay.
I'll go 5 at life.
Give you a 2.
And it's... Well, I'll do the same thing.
Okay.
Five. I'll take 8 cards.
Okay.
It's your turn.
Okay. Draw. We'll do leader effects.
Yep.
5 to a Bonnie. Yeah, we'll just do 5 for kid. I'll pass.
Sure. I'll draw. Pay 5 for Cavendish.
Mm-hmm.
I'll restand 2 beyond play. We'll rest Bonnie for 1.
Yep.
Search. 4. 5. Take 8 to get.
Okay. And just so you know, it's not like crazy, but just right where your hands are happen to be like just like out of.
Am I bringing that up too far?
You're good. Yeah, just a little too far, but you're good. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'll go 5 away.
And I'll rest.
That's you.
Okay. I will draw. And cards in hand?
I have 7.
7. Gotcha. Let's do... Let's do 5 to Bonnie.
I'll rest the kid.
Sure.
For Bonnie's dead, yeah.
Yep. Let's go leader effect. Take ramp. Let's go 7 for Luffy Taro. Luffy Taro, Dawn -1. Play out Chopper.
Yep.
Bring back Dawn from Kid. I'll pass.
Sure. I'll draw. How many cards in you?
I believe 6. I have 6.
6, sure. And how much Dawn do you have?
I have 8 at the moment, going to 10 next turn.
Gotcha. Pay 7
Okay.
for Odie Jones. I will rest the Chopper
Okay.
and Luftara.
Okay.
I will take a life off the on play. Go 6 alive, freestanding 2.
Okay. No trigger.
Go 6 alive again.
You have 1 active.
And the
Hody.
Odie's.
No trigger.
Go 8 alive.
Made it life. We'll rest 1. Let's do. Let's do Gum Gum Giant trashing 7 cost Sanji.
Yep.
Down -2. Draw 2. Go to 9.
Alright, let's here go.
Alright.
How
Draw.
many cards in hand now?
I have 9.
No.
Ramp 2. And cards in hand for you?
8.
8. Okay. Let's go 8 to Cavendish.
I'll rest Kid.
Yep. Okay. Let's see. Which way do we want to go? So you're gonna be at 9 Dawn next turn, I believe.
9, yes.
Okay. 9 Dawn. Let's do 5 to life.
Take. No trigger.
We'll go. Yeah, we'll go 6 to life.
You at 2K?
Okay. I'll go 4 for Bon Clay.
Yep.
Ramp 1. I'll go 4 for Bon Clay. Ramp 1.
Yep.
I'm going to end turn. End of turn, I'm going to use Chopper's effect to Dawn -1, give it blocker, and Kid effect, ramp the Dawn back as active.
Sure.
And I will pass.
Sure. Go 5 alive.
Block.
Not 9 alive.
Rest 1. I will do Gum Gum Giant, trashing Chopper. Dawn -2. Go to 9, draw 2. Give you a 1k with Sanji.
Alright, how many cards in hand?
I believe 6, but yes, I have 6.
OP5.
Okay.
Or a Cavish.
Mhm.
Restand 2. Then we'll pay another 5. For Smoker. And we'll use the active main on Smoker to restand.
Okay.
And it's your go.
Alright. Draw. Let's restand everything. Let's do... How many in hand?
I have 7.
7. Okay. Let's do 8 life, copying Hody Jones.
Yep. I will rest the... I'll rest the other bonk then.
Okay.
And I'll take this.
Okay. Go 7 life with Chopper.
We have 9 down 1. Zero cost and innate cost or not.
Okay.
So 6 and 8.
6 and in. We'll do 7 life.
How much active Dawn now?
I
7?
have 7. Yes.
We'll take. Sure.
8 life. Oh, just so you know, it is like, yeah.
Be 2/2
Okay. So that leaves you with 5 in hand?
5, yes.
5, okay. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, we're at 6. Tresh Bonkley. Play out Sanji.
Oh, rest 6, yeah.
Yeah, rest 6. And then I will end turn. Restanding Chopper. Dawn -1, Kid getting the Dawn back. And I'll pass.
Go. How many cards in you?
I believe 5. No, sorry, 6. Sorry.
Sure. Play Kid Phrase.
Okay.
I will go.
Sorry, what?
Sorry, I'm just deciding what to do.
Oh, you're
Go
good.
6 at Bonkley and restand 2.
You said 6 at Bonkley?
Bonkley, yeah.
Got you. Yep.
We'll restand 1 with Smoker as well.
Okay.
We will go 6 at life.
I'll give you a 2K for no skip.
7 at life.
You have 4 active left?
4 active, yeah.
And sorry, how many in hand?
5.
5. Okay. I'll give you a 2K.
Okay. cards in hand now?
I
4.
have 4.
Be 8 at life.
Take no trigger.
I'll use Kid's active main
Sure.
to play Bart's Lumia.
Uh-huh. Do you mind reminding me what that card does? Sorry.
So Bart, pretty much, if I rest a character using my effect on my turn, so Bonnie, Searcher, Kid, Hody, I get to draw 1, trash 1.
Okay.
Patch a Dawn onto Kid.
Yep.
Then I'll pay 2 more. I'll play Smoker. The block. And it's your go.
Okay. Hmm. You have 4 in hand. Or 3?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Okay, 3 in hand. Hmm. Sorry, just thinking for a second.
No worries.
Let's do 7 for Sanji.
Yep.
Dumb -1. Let's rest. Let's rest Rosinante.
Yep.
Yep. Ramp 1 from Kid Effect. We'll go 9 to Kid.
I'll pay 1, and I will rest the Sanji blocker.
Sanji blocker. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 Dawn. Use 0 cost and cabbage.
Okay. We'll do 8 to Kid.
2 Dawn. Block it.
Sorry, what was the card you pitched for the 0?
Cavendish.
Cavendish, okay. Yeah. Pass end of turn effect, making Chopper a blocker. 2 active. 5 in hand.
Sure. Draw. So 5 in hand. Go 9 at life.
We'll do Gum Gum Giant, trashing Zoro. Down -2. Draw 2. And I'll give you... Give you a 1k with law.
Sure. I'll go 9 at life.
So you have
8 Dawn left.
8 Dawn. I'll block.
Cards name? Sorry.
I have 4.
4. Alright. We'll pay 5. Or Carrot.
Okay.
Carrot will freeze Luffy Taro.
Okay.
We'll go 7 lap life and restand 2 Dawn.
Seven life, and that leaves you with 4 Dawn. Give you 2 2Ks with Sanji and Sanji.
Okay. And it'll be 8 at life.
8 at life. I will block.
Let's go. Two 2Ks.
Yeah, I can't win. You got it, brother. I needed to draw a new Sahachi, like my life depended on it, but I could not find that card.
Though,
Yeah.
I will mention.
Did I have it if I went 5? Or like if I had attached and went 8 and then, what was it?
I have a brick.
Oh, you had a brick. So wait, did you have the carrot as your 1 card in hand last turn, or did you have kid?
I had carrot as my 1 card.
Oh, okay, so you would have won. All right, I thought about going for game like 8 and then 5, 6.
Yeah. I did want to mention though, he rested the Rosinante, but Rosinante can still block if he's rested.
Oh yeah, fuck. That's right.
Just want to let you know.
Thank you for giving me at least a good laugh after that. That's so correct. Damn. Yeah. Oh shit, what a dumb fucking move on my part. Damn. Good game, bro.
You too.
Yeah.
In round number 7 of 9 for the CoreTCG One Piece Online Treasure Cup, I'm with Jake as I have been all day. And Jake, what leaders do we have left undefeated today?
We've got left undefeated, Shanks being the most populous deck so far in this top 8 with 2. And so all the other 6 decks sitting at 1 each. Very, very wide variety in this top 8 so far in the late stages of this tournament. 1 Purple Luffy, 1 Bonnie that you see on stream, 1 Doflamingo that you see on stream, the Teach that we saw the end of last round, a Smoker, red-green, and also Edward Newgate.
Yeah, should be really interesting. Looking forward to seeing what gets there. But now that we've got 7 different leaders in top 8, what is fantastic, right? I think it just shows just how many leaders that are viable right now. We had 5 Shanks with 3 of them losing last round, which is quite remarkable to see that. And I really don't know who's going to take it today now.
Yeah, it's anybody's game at this point. Just a couple more rounds to be crowned the victor of this Treasure Cup. Going to be really interesting as both players set out their life. Bonnie deciding on the hand, and Doflamingo going first in this almost 50-50 matchup. It seems like getting that Sengoku right away to be able to grab a 7 Warlords of the Sea, and Boa Hancock is going to be the first option. A great card from the starter deck. So now with Bonnie going into their first turn, we'll see if they've got anything to play right now. Maybe a 1-cost Jewelry Bonnie or something of the sorts. And that's exactly what it's going to be, that winner Bonnie right there. But ends up passing the turn, says, you know what, I'm not going to let you swing right into this Bonnie. I'm going to force you to just go at life at this point. And so getting the buggy off the leader flip is going to be the restack of the top 3. Bonnie taking the life, that 7k swing, and moving into their turn now for Dawn.
Yeah, and not the card that we'd want to see, right? But it's at least a card that we can see off our leader effect, and maybe we'll set up a better play next turn. But a little bit of a slow start for Doflamingo.
So on that Bonnie search right there from the 1-drop, finding an 8-drop Eustace Captain Kid will be good later in the game. But first, swinging that 5 at the Sengoku, taking that knockout, minimizing the amount of swings coming at this Bonnie. And so playing down that Rosinante, going to establish a little blocker on the field, heading into Doflamingo's 5-Dawn turn. I believe, yes, 5-Dawn turn. I know how to count. These players are playing very nicely fast, I think. So now with that Doflamingo swinging 7, is going to play that Weevil down and draw a card. The Rosinante going ahead and blocking after resting that buggy off the Bonnie leader effect is going to end the turn with, or at least end this phase of the turn, with a buggy to reorder once again this top 3, playing down multiple buggies in the beginning stage of this game, multiple 2Ks hitting the field. Is going to try as best they can to get that leader effect going in this one. Placing it on the top is going to be a 1-drop Trafalgar Law. So I know this is a card that people have been playing in Doflamingo as of late, been a point of conversation. And this player doing pretty well in this tournament with that little 1-drop.
Yeah, and I've definitely been seeing it more from since this last weekend. It ended up getting in a first place finish at the Carta Magica regionals. I recalled which regionals was which over the break. So yeah, that one drop law just showing off a lot of power. Just being a blocker for one is fantastic. It's very easy for Doflamingo to keep one open, and it can be really powerful. So looks like Bonnie on the other side, we're going to play out the 5-cost Smoker, which is a little bit tough for Doflamingo to remove outside of a Jozu. Being able to get that additional Dawn back, and then playing out another 1-drop Bonnie, keeping them both active, and then passing from there.
These Bonnies are going to be really nice if they stay on the field to be able to continuously search for different pieces that Bonnie is going to need throughout this game. Definitely an interesting spot right now for both players. We'll see how the Doflamingo goes with a Weevil still standing on the field. You'd imagine that either the Weevil or the blocker Law is going to be rested off of the 1 Dawn leader effect for the Bonnie. But what are they going to play out first right now? Any Marshall D teaches coming in, or a hard Weevil to just draw a card? So there goes that teach. Now with the teach effect is going to be able to use leader effect after stacking a card on top of their deck. Maybe that Boa Hancock that we saw earlier still in the hand at this point, but thinking about what they want to actually do on this. If it's the Boa, you're going to be able to swing 8,000 power. You know that something's going to get rested, right? Your main priority is just swinging with leader at this point. So here's that leader flip. It is going to be the Boa replacing the Buggy. Going to reorder the top 3 once again after resolving this leader effect.
Yeah, and bottom decking the 3 off the top, we still have a Dawn to put somewhere, so we're going to put it on Weevil. And yeah, just really saying, you know, that teach needs to get removed. That's a huge priority for us. And instead of like getting out of the attack itself.
So now attaching the Dawn from the Boa Hancock to the Weevil. Going to be swinging another 7, just a couple different 7s coming at the Bonnie's face right now. Is going to give 2K, 1K to get out of here. You got a Bartolomeo in this deck. I know is a card that has rotated in and out of this ever since its release in, I believe, OP07. So Bonnie now going down to 3 life. Is going to have some Dawn to work with within this turn, and the opportunity to do a little bit of searching with these Bonnies if they want.
Yeah, it's again, like it's really curious. Most people, instead of like playing another Bonnie and just keeping both active, most people I would know would just like snap, you know, get the double, you get the single search while we can. So prioritizing in this matchup that these Bonnies can stay on board a little bit more, making it more flexible on how much Dawn we can use every turn, and not having to, you know, have nothing better to do, so just like do a super big over attack, I think is an interesting take on Bonnie for this one.
And it's really curious too. You talk about the different removal cards that Doflamingo can use. If you have got 2 of those search Bonnies active, you really ask them to have multiple removal effects, or you're going to guarantee at least 1 search, right? With the 4-cost law being so prevalent in the deck. But now just going ahead and clearing out some Bonnies right here. The Smoker is a block, and the Bonnie is KOing the Teach. Is going to have a couple bodies still left on the field. Still plenty of Dawn to work with in here. Do you go ahead and search, or do you go and play this Cavendish on the field right now? We saw the Cavendish search off that first Bonnie right there. Definitely a great piece that makes Bonnie a strong deck in this format.
Yeah, biggest issue about that is that you know, Red Rock could come out next turn if you play Cavendish and just get rid of both of your 5 drops, which just feel real bad in this spot, especially since, you know, Dofi's already has a board of 3 6Ks, so it's a bit of a tough spot.
Yeah, definitely one card like Gravity Blade can take out multiple cards in this deck. So thinking about the Dawn, how they want to distribute it, I believe they're at 8 at this point in terms of the Dawn, so about 7 to work with here in this turn.
Yeah, I agree.
So is going to be resting 3 for a Bartolomeo right here. So is going to go ahead and do some searching with the Bonnie. Yeah, you got to rotate that sideways to be able to do the search. Did rest the Dawn first, at least, though. So No harm, no foul. But looking at what you've got left, you've got 3 Dawn left. I know how to count. 3 Dawn left to work with to play off of this, or maybe just grab some counter. But no, grabs a second 8-cost kid. So we know they have 2 in the hand now at this point.
Yeah, and the next thing too is that Bart, it doesn't care on who's gets rested. As long as a card is rested by an effect that you own, you do get the draw 1 and discard 1. So 1-drop Bonnie does activate this, so we do get a draw 1 and discard 1, and we got to decide what we want to do for this additional 2 Dawn afterwards.
So gonna be curious because all the swings have been resolved. It does pitch an 8-cost Rosinante, so another spicy little card that we don't see a lot of times in these Bonnies, right? Is very cool to see in this, but not needed in the matchup. Is just gonna cycle again with another Bonnie right here. But 1 Dawn left in here after grabbing this Cavendish is gonna be the end of the turn more than likely for Bonnie.
Yeah, this is such a funny board, right? In Bart's only, it's a once per turn, right? Thankfully for this, it's not like, you could have gone an additional cycle if you wanted to, but a lot of cards in hand for Bonnie. On the other side, there's only, there's a lot of bodies that are 6Ks that are kind of troublesome for the Doflamingo. And you also have this weird thing where you kind of want to attack with leader first, but that means it might be your smallest attack without Dawn. So it looks like we're going to use the buggy, though. Looking at top 3, see if there's something we want to play off the top of our deck.
Buggy is going to be nice for setting up your future turns in this game as well as the current turn. So leaving it what looks like on top in that order. We'll see if like another Teach can potentially come down or something like that as the last one went away earlier. But
and just deciding, yeah, I will say that it looks like our Doflamingo player has been a little bit unfortunate with some top deck sequencing, and just kind of not even their fault, right? Just the first hit off their Dofly leader was the buggy. Definitely could have been some better chances on some stuff, but yeah, just attacking 6K with the Weevil. Deciding if they want to, if they're going to rest the leader just in case they want to play something. Gets rid of 1 Bonnie. Gets rid of 2 of them. And gets rid of 3. So either Jozu would be good here. Law, getting rid of the Bart is fine. Gets the buggy back to your hand.
yeah, gonna be nice, almost like playing that buggy for free essentially, or just 1 Dawn, but you still got that 2K in hand, but decides to pick up the Law instead. Says, you know what, I might want to play this down again later, and so goes ahead and plays a Pudding. The Pudding, one of the strong points of a blue deck, right? And something you always have to think about. Putting that Bartolomeo immediately back in hand, and then says, you know what, we're throwing it right back in the deck. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The good news is all of those swings that your opponent had when at the Bonnies, you didn't lose any life whatsoever in that turn, but at what cost, I will say. And so now a full 10 Dawn going into this Bonnie is going to be a 6K swing, probably at either one of the Weevils or Boas, because just a 1K counter was used. Now a 7,000 power Banish going at lead is going to take out that Jozu, and a full 9 for a KO Shanks is going to KO that Boa right there. And with the smoker effect right on that character, is going to restand 1 Dawn to be able to use off the leader effect. You're still in an okay spot, but could get a little hairy quickly, especially after an 8,000 power swing potentially coming in.
Yeah, and I like that Smoker going into life, knowing that you know, you get a quote unquote card out of hand either way, right? So that does help. They do get to play. It looks like the Teach off the top of deck, which again, just a little bit unfortunate for our Bonnie, or for our Doflamingo player on what their sequencing is. It looks like they're going to put 2 Dawn extra onto the Weevil. They're going to try their best to pressure out of this Smoker, but 2k out of hand, and likely going to pass again from there.
Especially after using that Red Rock, right? Getting rid of that big body in the Shanks relieves a little bit of the pressure that the Bonnie was able to put on within the last turn. And so now the Bonnie going to be attaching at least 1 Dawn and swinging at the Weevil is going to take that knockout on that 8,000 power swing. The Doflamingo not wanting to get rid of anything in hand at this point. So did their leader swing already? Did we miss it?
We tacked into Teach, and then we attacked into the Weevil. And then we're playing
have missed that part.
Technically 3 Dawn. We're going to be able to get 1 back with the Smoker. We have a lot of Dawn. Like, we have 8 Dawn right now, but I think this might be an issue where, like, we don't have that much to do with it after the fact, maybe. But oh, we get the Carrot. Yeah, that's so good, being able to lock down the Weevil. And I have this sneaking suspicion that, you know, this is sometimes what Pudding does. I think we gave our Bonnie player a better hand after Pudding than what they had, right?
Yeah,
Shanks,
definitely.
Carrot, like, all these are great cards.
Yeah, especially with all of those searches, it didn't end up mattering with the Pudding, but allowed to maybe a little bit of times to like thin out the hand in some senses with some of the cards that they played. But now going in with the Gecko, right, playing down that Teach that they got off the Gecko, is going to go ahead, put a card on top of the deck and swing big with this leader to get a Weevil down, draw another card, rest the other Weevil, and take out this Smoker. Really just saying, you know what, I know after the Pudding that you may not really have a lot of counter in hand, right? So I'm at least taking out this Banish.
Yeah, agreed. And it's so funny, Pudding just got played and it's just been sitting there since then, right? We've just have never found like a time where we had 1 extra Dawn to do anything with. You know, it's mildly easy for us to interact and like even clear board here. We can, you know, attack with the Carrot into one of the Weevils and stun the other one, right? We kind of want to play out a body as well. We're just gonna go 6, yeah, with 2 cards in hand. Oh, 6 into the life. Okay.
6 into life, putting the Doflamingo down to 3 and stunning one of those Weevils. A second Carrot has hit the board, stunning both Weevils here now. And so that minimizes some big pressure from this Doflamingo at this point. Only a couple swings available to him. And it looks like potentially still has the Cavendish to swing at this point and a little bit of Dawn to work with. So we'll see exactly where he decides to go with this.
Yep, on 5 we're playing out, looks like another copy of the Smoker, getting 2 Dawn back with that. Gonna get 1 extra Dawn back. Oh, okay, I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. We could have gone oh no, that is Smoker, yeah.
Yeah, that's the alternate art Smoker from OP10.
Yeah, we could have gone 1 more Dawn back, but it's fine.
Not really any 1 cost events or 2 cost events that I think you really worry about in Bonnie typically, but
no.
Is definitely an interesting spot for the Doflamingo, right? Those Weevils are frozen, so a minimal amount of swings to do with Bonnie still at 3 life. Is considering attaching a couple Dawn and going in with a swing right now. Maybe trying to play a Bonnie off the top of the deck. You need to continue filling up this board, right, as these Carrots are causing you problems.
Yeah, and it's been tough for Dofi to really, you know, apply the pressure and aggression that they are known for, right? And I mean, it looks like we're attacking 6 with this. Probably trying to bait out on the leader, sure.
So takes out one of the Carrots. takes out one of the carrots and rests the leader. The pudding now, as you were talking about, was just standing there, but now goes in with the swing and gets rid of the Cavendish. The Red Rock gets rid of the other carrot, right? Smoker's still standing on the field, but back to Bonnie's turn now. Got rid of some of those threats, and especially with Bonnie not having a ton of swings every single turn at this point, with both of the carrots gone, you know that some of these bodies are going to be able to restand at the end of your Bonnie turn.
Yeah, and now we're just like in the spot, like, I mean, if we have like a Hody, I'd be really tempted to just say, you know what, let's just get you down to 0 life. And then just make it so I can have like a really good Hody turn on the next turn, right? Looks like we're tapping 8 for maybe
Eustace Captain Kidd. So Eustace Captain Kidd hitting the field right now, and the restand off of the Smoker effect provides 3 Dawn available. You could use the Kidd to be able to play out something like a Rosinante blocker at this point, or Bartolomeo, but first, swinging 6 at the pudding is going to go ahead and take it out. Don't want it to come back to hand off a Jozu and potentially play it again or something of the sort. I think pudding probably wouldn't be good to play at this point, but still a factor. Going to be attaching one, swinging 8 now with this Smoker, and a 2K coming down on the field to save one of those bodies.
Yeah, it's either that or it was at life, right? Double 2K would let you get there. It has the blocker too. I do like the idea of like just not using the Eustace Captain Kidd effect right now. We're not afraid about losing this next turn, right? With just life and cards on board and stuff. We do want to, just 1 card in hand for Bonnie. Yeah, I think we have to like respect, like we might need to find a Red Rock if we haven't already. I think we've played maybe 1 or 2 in this game too.
I think we've played 2 so far. So Weevil going ahead and swinging 9 potentially, maybe a little bit less. Really got to think about the math right now, and leaving that Kid up now is very interesting, because if you play another Kid here in a second, if that other card in hand is a Kid, right, you can have a turn next turn where you go double Kid on the field, to where if there is a Red Rock, like you're saying, that comes down, maybe a third copy, well, you still got 1 Kid available to you to be an indirect blocker of sorts.
Yeah, and we looked at the top 5 of our deck. We're looking at that. We tried another blind Doflamingo hit, and we missed after we used the Boa effect, and we had to bottom 3. And assuming there's no targets off of it, so just 5 there. We could have also used the leader effect to rest the Bonnie instead. But this kind of indicates that maybe we have a Hody as the last card in our hand to try to go for game. So we will have to.
Plenty of non-counter cards that the Bonnie has available to them that they could play. Could be a 10 drop, could be an 8 drop, could be a Hody, could be so many different opportunities. Even a 9-cost Zoro could come down, although that would not be very good at this game state. So now the Bonnie's turn, a full 10 Dawn. What do they work with at this point? If you go into something like a double Eustace Captain Kidd, you still have to defend against a lot of swings, and being down at 1 life might be difficult to stay alive within this game.
Yeah, and we don't have, I think we have 4 or 5 cards in hand for Bonnie, right? Like Hody is a way that we could win, but if they're at 1 life, I think Hody would be very safe. Them still at 2 life is a bit scary. We still have a bunch of 6 drops on board too. I don't know if we play 10 drop Dofi, but even if we do, right, like there's like no guarantee that will be enough to win next game, since we don't have any ways to get 1 Dawn back.
Getting rid of these smokers, really controlling the board, has been a big deal in this matchup for the Doflamingo. Just trying to neutralize a lot of the threats on the board has been definitely a battle between these two. Bonnie thinking about splitting up the Dawn a little bit to the swings. Could be interesting of whether or not they want to try to focus on board or try to just go in straight at life. All depends on what they've got in their hand right now. It's like setting up 4 and 3 off to the side. Could be a variety of different things.
Yep. Okay. So easy choice, right? I mean, we've got 10 minutes left in round, right? We've got like 2 turns left, so it's okay. Like I think like these decisions will make some time, right? It's really like, do we think we can go for game? If we do have the cards to do so, if not, we have to kind of hope that 8-drop kid is enough to buy us another turn, which it can, right? It's not unusual for that to happen. We like the Doflamingo player has to be really cognizant that like Hody could come down next turn as well. And yeah, it looks like we're just going Big 10 at we're going into board. Okay, all right.
So trying to take as much board as possible for the Bonnie right now does still have 8 Dawn left to work with, split it up between 5 and 3. You got to imagine then maybe if they're going for board, might attach a couple Dawn to this leader to be able to not just enable a free block on this illustration box Boa Hancock that's on the field. Going to be really curious how they play out the rest of this turn. Looks like maybe attaching 2 to leader potentially.
Yeah, and maybe we have like a carrot, and we attack 7, play carrot, leave 1 open. Just really counting their Dawn here.
Definitely a crucial part of the game that you really have to decide, as you were talking about, how you're going to be able to survive as they're going for the board. We know that they're not going for lethal on this turn, so you got to play as defensively as possible to just buy yourself some time.
All right, deciding 7K. Now the choice is at the leader, at the Moria, or at the Weevil. Essentially, you're attacking at a 6K whenever no matter what, right? Because Boa can get the block an easy 2K, which ends up being the case since we know that there's a Mihawk in hand. So with that swing resolved, going to be a good 5 for Cavendish, going to be able to put up 3 Dawn, and 2's going to get down for a Rosinante. This is an interesting spot right now. You know that the 2 blockers essentially on the field with the Eustace Captain Kid and the Rosinante, and one of your attackers at least is going to get rested through the Bonnie leader effect. So definitely not an easy spot either right now for the Doflamingo, even though you feel like you're in the driver's seat. And deciding now on their own Dawn, right? We can pressure this. We know that, generally speaking, the Boa blocker is getting rest. Yeah, like immediately right here, right? Has to be.
So it looks like a 10K swing going on right now. That Boa is rested and decides to block right there. Really tells the Doflamingo opponent that they need to commit the rest of their Dawn to swing at this kid, and it looks like it's taking a knockout. A free 5K swing now at life because that kid was taken out, is going to take that life, is going to pass the turn, draw, and it's going to be a question of whether or not you have Hody Jones at this point. And even if you do have Hody Jones, you still got to think about the math, right? Because there are 2 cards in hand and 2 life that you can gain. And there he is, the boogeyman of green decks right there, Hody Jones, going to be here. And you still have 2 Dawn that you can restand with the Cavendish, but how much do you commit to the Cavendish? And it looks like a 7 is going to and take that life. You've got 4 Dawn left to work with, an 8 off of the Hody Jones, a 9 with the Bonnie, and with the counter, I can't tell exactly what they are. It looks like a bunch of 1Ks.
4 1Ks.
So Bonnie claiming that victory right there, just at the very end. A great job by the Bonnie, even through the pudding, getting around that. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, and I can't tell. I did see the Bonnie player really quickly take the card from their life, so that could have been the Hody that ended up winning the game, right? Super tight game, super close, and really just down to exact Dawn math.
Yeah, very, very tight in that one. But that's why these players are at the top tables, right? And if you're able to do that math more often than not, you're going to be able to pick up great wins such as that one in a very tight matchup.
Yeah, 100%. So definitely could have been either way. I will definitely say that our Doflamingo player, I think they played very well. I think they were a little bit unfortunate with their top deck random. It looked like they just weren't, the cards weren't sequencing the way that they wanted. So I do think that did help dictate the pace of play. But generally speaking, I think both players were very strong for this one. And we've got 4 leaders left undefeated, including our Jewelry Bonnie.
It's going to be a tight one. Going to be interesting to see which of the 4 leaders are left right. We know that the odds are that maybe one of the Shanks makes it. The only deck in the top 8 having multiple entries in there. So it's all going to be matchup dependent at this point of who sees the good decks, right? The decks that they want to see within this wide meta tournament.
Yeah, 100%. So we're going to be done with this round. We've got 2 more rounds left. Again, we have 4 leaders undefeated. One of them is going to be Bonnie. We're going to find out the other 3 real quickly, and we'll see you guys in our 8th round. We'll be right back.